Welcome to Englewood After Dark, Episode 16, Awol. Englewood After Dark is a serialized horror audio drama, and for the best experience, we recommend starting with Episode 1. Content warnings for this episode include mentions of murder and violence. If you've been enjoying our show, stay tuned after the episode to learn about our Indiegogo fundraiser for Season 2. Hey there, intrepid mystery lovers, and welcome to the first, the OG, the inaugural episode of Englewood Rogue, Guerrilla Radio. Thank you all for being here. As of this evening, I'm your one and only host, Detective Nightingale, a lone wolf and solo operator who doesn't need anyone holding him back. Who apparently doesn't work well with others. Now, I know how this looks, dear listener. You're wondering why I'm here all alone in my room. You're wondering why I'm delivering a soliloquy to a crackly laptop mic. You're wondering why I'm entertaining an audience of none. You lovely folks at home notwithstanding. Well, Eve continues to not accept the truth, so I've elected to get my hands dirty and do some real, honest-to-God ghost hunting. Though at this rate, she'll probably think I photoshopped evidence or something. Anyway, let's talk about some flippin' ghosts. I know. Tons of people have tried to prove the existence of ghosts in the past with little success. What makes me different? That's what you're asking. Well, other than a charming personality, a healthy dash of audacity, and an infectious can-do attitude, I have something that other investigators don't. I have Englewood. Anyone can find a local haunted prison or hospital, but Englewood? Englewood has so many cold cases and haunted spots, it's almost unbelievable. This town is a supernatural melting pot just waiting for someone to stir it. If total proof of ghosts is going to be found somewhere, it's here. To that end, I've called on one of my favorite guests to discuss locations of interest on campus. We all know Englewood, but nobody knows Englewood after dark, like Samuel does.
Finn?
Samuel, hey! Yeah, it's Finn. Thanks for being on with us tonight.
It's the least I could do.
You sound like you're walking. Do you want me to call back later?
No, that's fine. I'm walking across campus between duties at the moment. I don't mind the company.
For those who haven't been following, Samuel's been a janitor at Englewood for a decade now and spends more time on campus at night than almost anyone else. I've called him to pick his brain.
Pick away.
Okay. We're gonna play fast and loose with the questions. So, first up. Samuel, you're okay, right? I mean, about helping us. Did you get in trouble last time?
Oh, absolutely. I was about to be fired for about 12 hours there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be. Administration was singing a very different tune once the police debriefed them. I won't say they were thankful that I was involved, but if I wanted thanks, I wouldn't be working here.
You're an inspiration to us all.
I'm just doing my job, Finn, and my job is taking out trash.
Okay, question numero 2. Samuel, you've been at Englewood for a long time, in one capacity or another. You probably got more experience with this campus than anyone else. What kind of creepy spots do you know of?
Creepy, like...
Spooky, scary, places to send chills down your spine.
There's a lot of that all over campus. One of the first things I learned is this. The more people a space is designed for, the worse it feels to be alone there at night. You start hearing or seeing things in your periphery, but that's just the general stuff.
Are there any areas you avoid at night?
Avoid? Maintenance areas, crawl spaces, narrow corridors.
Wait, really? Aren't those, designed for you? For janitors and staff?
Maintenance areas are for two purposes. For fixing something when it goes wrong, or for moving around without bumping into people. Handy during the day, but not so much at night. Plus there's something... I don't like being between the walls at night. It makes the hair on my neck stand on end.
Like you're being watched?
Maybe? It feels like I don't belong there, if that makes sense.
Oh, I know that feeling. Like the space is oppressive and closing in around you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Can I visit them? The maintenance areas, I mean.
Sure. I could take you sometime.
Yes, field trip!
I'm not supposed to let people back there, but if I'm supervising, it'll be fine.
I'd kill for that kind of access to campus. They lock away the library beanbags after 6 p.m., and I know the Elm Building has excellent armchairs that recline, but they lock the doors after 7 p.m. It's like nobody cares that I'm an all-nighter.
Not exactly all access.
Huh?
You wanted to know about creepy locations on campus, right? There's a big one. The Science Building.
I knew that place was creepy. Wait, do you not have access to the Science Building?
Not at night. It's all locked up unless you have clearance.
But that's like the biggest building on campus. Building complex? It's basically a complex, right?
Yeah, huh? A lot of my daylight hours are spent cleaning that place. They kick even me out after hours. Something about dangerous equipment or controlled substances. There are plenty of blackouts due to power surges.
I felt a cold spot around that building. What have you seen?
Seen, felt, heard, lots of things. I think some graduates are there overnight, so rooms are lit up. There's often machinery going, so there's a kind of mechanical hum in the air. But sometimes there's something else. Something rhythmic. Like a raspy breathing sound that's almost hidden by the machinery. I went to investigate once, but it stopped when I got close.
Something was holding its breath?
Yeah, kinda. I don't stick around there anymore. Whatever it is, it ain't my business.
Anything else?
Like he said, some areas feel colder than they should, even if the heater's working fine. And sometimes you get flickering in the windows, though that could just be someone experimenting.
Experimenting with what?
Dunno. I asked a fella on his way out once. He told me it was proprietary information. Looked real shy about it, so I didn't press.
I wonder.
About?
It's a little half-formed idea I have. I'd ask Eve, but I want to build a rock-solid theory before I get back to her. That way she can't ignore me. Thanks, Samuel. You're the best. Next steps, investigate maintenance corridors and areas between the walls. Then I can look into the science building some more. Thanks for all your help, Samuel.
My pleasure, Finn. I should get back to work, but call me if you need anything else.
Will do. Good night.
Good night.
You heard it, folks. The solo operator Nightingale has a partner in crime. Together, we're going to venture deep into the bowels of Englewood and uncover what dark secrets they hold. Huh. My solo career didn't last very long at all. Oh well. Life's better with friends. And speaking of friends, we're going to jump right into our next interview. If our last guest was a font of knowledge about Englewood as a location, our next is a trove of information about the heart of Englewood University, its student body. He's been teaching here for a decade now and has seen generations of students pass through its halls. It's Professor Hannessey. Hello? Who is it? Sorry, I'm in the middle of something, but nothing weird.
You wanted to hear from me, Finn. Will you let me in?
Oh, Professor, yeah, okay, sure.
Hello, Finn.
Hello, Professor. Sorry, I thought we were conducting a phone interview.
There must have been a miscommunication. Would you prefer it if I was outside?
No, of course not. I'm just surprised. Please, take a seat. Professor Hannessey, lovely to have you here.
And I am delighted to be here. I wouldn't miss a chance to be present.
Aw, thank you. Professor, you may be aware that Eve and I were previously looking into the locked room murders.
I remember as much, yes.
You were teaching at the time, right? I want to ask you about the student body back then. Did you know any of the students who died? I'm trying to get a feel for the events leading up to their deaths.
Of course. I knew a few of them with levels of familiarity, though The one I knew best was Tara.
Tara isn't considered a locked-room murder.
Oh, my apologies. I had just assumed. I thought you were invested in these murders because they occurred near the death of your sister. Finn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to strike a sore spot.
You knew?
Of course, she talked about her younger brother all the time. She was such a bright and pure soul. I know how you feel, Finn. The world is much darker without her.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry, Finn. I wanted to make sure you were okay. I know things have been hard for you, especially with Eve leaving you behind.
Actually, it's just a temporary thing, you know?
Oh, that's good to hear. I was worried that she'd abandoned you. Between your Tara, your parents, and Eve.
Professor, she wouldn't do that.
I had someone abandon me recently. I think it has clouded my judgment. I'm sorry for projecting that bitterness onto you. I'm sure Eve will understand your point of view before long.
Thank you, Professor.
Did you have questions for me?
I'm sorry for making you come all this way, Professor, but, do you think you could reschedule to some other day? And with a better microphone, I think.
That's perfectly fine. I'm sure I can make time. I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you, Professor. I'm okay. I just need some time to think.
Take all you need.
See ya, Professor.
Goodbye, Finn.
Well, damn. Guess I can't use any of that interview. What now? Clark's second law. The only way of discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. All right, Eve, if you won't accept the truth, then I'll get your scientific proof by venturing into the impossible. Something is going on here, and it's something more than the mundane. And if I can't...
The fuck are you doing?
Would you believe me if I said working?
You gotta get your shit together, Finn. Where's my jacket? I've gotta head out and cover for you tonight, you idiot.
Fine by me. I was just about to get my stuff together and head out anyway. Also, your jacket's folded in the corner. I put it through the laundry.
Huh? Thanks, dude.
I gotta get some air. Maybe go for a walk. And we're back. Sorry about that, folks, but I needed to transition to a place that's a little more private and a little less hostile. Welcome back to the Whitehead Library, the site of our daring infiltration of the so-called Sons of Whitehead, where we finally began our sting operation to dismantle the Brotherhood from within. You'd think this place being the site of one of my greatest triumphs would make it a lot more exciting, but honestly, without the conspiracy, this place is pretty boring. But anyhow, I've rented out a private room for group study here. Far from my ideal setup, but at least the walls are soundproof. Today, y'all are in for a treat. My advisor in all things spiritual, supernatural, and altogether spooky is on her way. But before that, it seems we have an unexpected visitor. You may know her from our brief partnership in taking down the Brotherhood, or as the woman who has yet to accept my apology. That's right, it's Valerie.
Finn, are you recording your podcast in the library?
Temporarily, yes. Is that an issue?
Why don't I believe you?
What's not to believe?
Well, let's see. There's no more weird secret society meetings and whatnot here, and the only other time you set foot in this building was to make an ass of yourself dancing and singing on a table. So what's going on, Finn?
No, it's nothing like that.
You swear? Because there's a whole lot more people than there usually are, and if you're planning on some weird apology flash mob...
No, I swear, it's all above board today. I needed a space to record.
All right, fine. But I've got my eye on you.
Valerie, wait.
What is it, Finn?
You're a chem student, right?
Why?
Well, I'm looking for leads on paranormal activity, and I recently heard about the science building.
Finn, I really don't have time for an interview right now. I'm on the clock.
No, it'll only take a minute, I promise.
Isn't this something Eve could help you with? She's got plenty of classes there, too.
She'd help if it didn't involve the paranormal, but she's been shutting me down more and more lately when it comes to that. Never mind, you're at work. I'm sorry to bother you, I can ask later.
All right, hon. I can spare a few minutes.
Are you sure?
Well, there's more than one person at the front desk, and... Look, darling, I don't blame her for not believing. It's hard to believe if you've never experienced anything before. But I also know it sucks to be dismissed so quickly.
You believe in ghosts too?
Well, for me, it's kind of hard not to.
Did you encounter one? What was it like? Was it here on campus?
Don't get your hopes up, hon. I'm sorry to say this was a long time ago, and nowhere near Englewood. When I was 7, my Nana passed away. My family lived pretty far away from her, so we ended up staying in her house with Grandpa while we were visiting for the funeral. And that night, before we packed up to go home, I saw her. I couldn't sleep, so I got up to use the little girl's room, and when I was walking back to my room, everything just felt cold. I hurried back to my room to huddle up under the blanket, and there she was, wearing what we buried her in, standing in the bed.
In the bed?
Not like in it, but she wasn't solid. The bottoms of her legs passed through it. And of course, that's my Nana, so I rushed up to hug her without a second thought, and I couldn't touch her. It was like trying to grab fog.
Did she talk to you?
No. In fact, it was like she couldn't see me at all. She looked lost, like she didn't recognize her own home, and she glided around aimlessly, through walls, furniture, even me. Of course, I was 7, and I had no clue what was going on, so I got upset and started fussing about it, kept getting louder to try and get her attention until she passed through my window and scattered.
What do you mean, scattered?
Like steam off a hot tub in winter. There for a moment before she just wisped away into the air. My parents and Grandpa came in to see what I was crying about. They told me I just had a bad dream. But I know what I saw.
I'm sorry they didn't believe you.
Oh, don't worry about that, hun. By the way, that 5 minutes is down to 3 now, so you may want to ask me whatever it is you wanted to ask.
Right, the science building. Have you noticed anything off about it?
Can you be more specific?
I would if I could, but I don't have a lot to go on. Weird feelings, strange noises, anything out of the ordinary?
Well, it's pretty old and pretty creepy, especially after dark. I've had 1 or 2 late nights in the labs, last-minute projects and the like. The walls kind of creak. And sometimes it almost feels like that creaking is following you if you're by yourself. One night I could have sworn I heard whispers. Not a whole lot to go on, and definitely not the kind of raw proof you're looking for.
Even so, that's a couple people now that say the science building gives them the creeps, so I'll consider that a promising lead.
If you say so. But if you don't mind me asking, what's this got to do with your podcast? I haven't heard any urban legends or old stories of people dying there.
Oh, this isn't for the podcast.
Then why are you recording?
Well, Eve and I had creative differences.
Go on.
Have you heard about the locked room murders?
Heard of them, but I don't really know much about them.
Well, about 6 years ago, some students were murdered in Sycamore. Multiple stab wounds, locked doors and windows, no possible way in, and yet victims kept turning up.
Sounds like the kind of thing both of you could sink your teeth into.
Well, you'd think that, but we're running out of so-called logical explanations for it. There's just no feasible way a human being could have done this once, let alone multiple times.
I mean, isn't that what you've been waiting for?
Yeah, but it's not exactly turning out the way I want. The closer we get to Ghost's conclusion, the more Eve fights against it. It got to the point where she accused me of messing with her, trying to fake evidence of an encounter. So I said enough was enough, and I told her I'd get proof she couldn't deny. That shouldn't be too hard, right?
Oh, bless your heart.
Thanks?
Honey, that's not a... Oh, hey there, October.
Hey, Valerie. Sorry, am I interrupting?
No. I've been away from the front desk too long anyways. I've got to get back. Oh, by the way, I got notes from this morning's class if you want to copy them before you leave.
Thanks, Val.
Course, darling.
I didn't know you and Val had classes together.
General Studies. We're both taking French for the language credit.
Ah, and you missed class again?
Migraines. Even if I went to class, I wouldn't be able to focus, so might as well stay in my room with a pillow on my head.
Doing better now, though?
More or less. Valerie finally accept your apology?
No, but she's calling me darling again, so I think she's close to forgiving me. Just gotta keep up the old Nightingale charm.
Yeah, at this point, the Nightingale charm better be actual magic and not just a concept.
Hey, unsuccessful as I've been so far, she's bound to forgive me eventually.
You could always try apologizing like a normal person, without proclamations or musical numbers.
Absolutely not. How is she supposed to believe I'm sincere unless I go all out with it? Sure, it would be an apology, but it wouldn't be a Finn apology. Not from the heart. She won't think it's genuine unless I give it the Finn spin.
The Fin Spin sounds like a ride at a children's water park.
Finn treatment?
Sounds like a spa treatment involving fish.
Finagle? Wait, no, I hate it.
Fin angle?
How dare you use puns against me?
Greatest weapon or greatest weakness?
Puns are everyone's greatest weakness. That's why they're amazing.
Well, I'll limit myself to one groan inducer a day if you do. Truce?
I wish I could resist the temptation, but I don't think I'll be able to commit to that.
All out war it is, then.
May the best.
Finn,
Yeah?
you didn't call me down here to shoot the shit. You sounded serious.
Did I?
Yeah, and you never sound serious. So, not that I mind hanging out, but you gotta tell me what's going on first.
Right. Well, I used the Ouija board.
Tell me you didn't do it in your room.
No, I did it with Eve in the recording studio.
Somewhere you frequently have to go isn't much better, Finn.
Well, it's not like I was about to do it in public in front of everyone.
Right. Sorry. Go on.
We did it as part of the podcast like I was doing with the tea leaves in the spirit box, only this time we connected with something.
Did they try to hurt you?
No, not at all. October... Is my sister around?
Oh.
I think it was her. I need to be sure.
I've seen her around sometimes, yeah. She's not haunting anything or anyone, so she's not linked to a building, person, or object. Most of the time, if the dead want to affect the living, they have to be tied down to something physical in this world. For Tara and most others, she's free to peek in on the living at any time, but she's not always on this plane of existence. That's why we have tools like the one you've been gathering, to meet them halfway.
Unless you're you.
Trust me, you don't want what I got.
Yeah, maybe not, but I wanted to ask you. Do you ever sense anything by the science building? Both Samuel and Valerie seem to think the place is creepy.
I don't really go over there. Try to avoid it as much as I can.
Is it haunted?
I'd say so. Freshman year, half the time I missed class, it's because I had to go in there for one reason or another. General Studies dictates I need a science credit for my degree. Tried to get it out of the way first semester freshman year. Failed the class just because it made my head want to explode. Had to pick a different class that didn't have attendance as part of the grade.
What did you see there?
I didn't see anything. Whatever is in there is tied to a specific location in the building, and with my head splitting, I didn't exactly go looking for it.
Well, that's good enough for me. Perfect place to get some evidence.
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because if whatever's there can do that to me passively, I'd hate to figure out what it can do if you get it angry.
Point begrudgingly taken.
Well, I should go and photocopy Val's notes. I'll talk to you later. Okay, Finn?
Wait, just, one more question.
Sure.
Could you talk to my sister for me?
Like, right now?
I mean, if you can.
I'm sorry. It's not a good time right now. Migraine and all.
Oh, no, yeah, that's okay.
If you want to, though, let's meet up in a few days. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks.
Sure. Anytime.
Finn, you're running over time and there are people waiting to use the space.
Oof. Back to Finn.
What? No way, that was 30 minutes.
It wasn't, but you were 10 minutes
Shit.
late.
Okay, thanks for talking, October, but I gotta pack up, apparently.
I'll text you soon and we can set something up.
We're really in it now, aren't we, Tara? I'm deflecting, aren't I? This is dumb. What am I doing? What am I doing? Is the science building even a real lead? Am I just projecting? Eve would be all like, "Oh, Finn, of course you're projecting. Oh, sorry." Huh. Joke's on you, Eve. October corroborated my theory. Not that Eve would care. She's always nicer to other people, though, when they believe in this stuff. I should go on strike for better friendship conditions. Well, I guess I already did. I can't believe she thought I'd push the planchette, violating the sacred covenant of the Ouija board. Tara? God, I can't tell whether I want your death to be related to the locked room murders or... I always knew you didn't kill yourself. You remember when you made this friendship bracelet? I still wear it, you know? Everyone on the street was swapping bracelets. It was the thing. And I made a bunch, ready to trade them off with the other kids. No one gave me one. Apparently, I wasn't best friend material, and you could only have one. Huh. But then you sat down and made me give you one of mine. It was not very good. I'm really bad at crafty things like that. But you made me this one using that sea glass from our summer vacation. It's still beautiful. We buried you with yours, and I know I'll be buried with mine. Tara? October would kill me if she knew I was doing this alone. Tara? Come on, Tara. I need you to be out there. Tara? Please. Please. Just give me a sign or something. Show me you're out there somewhere watching over us. I'm gonna find out who killed you, Tara. But I need your help. Give me anything. What do you want from me? I'm begging you, please.
Birdie.
Oh! You're here.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm a professional. Okay, can you tell me who killed you? Falls. What? What do you mean? You fell? What are you talking about, Tara?
Tara.
Tara? You didn't kill yourself. I know you didn't. What are you talking about?
Killed.
Tara.
Who is this? You.
Know who?
You're the one who killed all those people?
Yes.
Why? Why did you kill them?
Hungry.
Fuck. Why'd you answer me? What do you want?
What the fuck are you doing?
Fucking hell. You just finished listening to Englewood After Dark, Episode 16. If you've been enjoying our show and you'd be interested in contributing towards the Season 2, please check out our Indiegogo page. It hasn't started yet, but it will soon, and you can sign up to stay updated for when we go live. If you want to connect with other Englewood listeners, please come join us on our Discord server. This episode starred Dennis Ortman as Finn Nightingale, Hannah Brown as Eve Pemberly, C.J. Macaulay as Seb Westwick, Lyle Michael Pepperell as Nigel Hannessey, Angie Min as October Jones, Rachel Schumacher as Valerie, and A. Rose as Samuel. Written and sound designed by Hannah Brown, Dennis Ortman, and A. Rose. Special thanks to the talented Athan for our on-air music and Nicholas Gasparini for the opening theme.